Hey, welcome back, everybody. Got nobody in here at the moment, which is fine. It's a weekday in the middle of the day. Anyways, I'm doing a live today because, sorry, I'm gonna eat some steak while I'm talking, but I'm doing a live today because last night I was sitting out on my front porch and I was looking at property online because, me and my wife, just like probably everybody, me and my wife, of course, would love to have like a piece of property, out in the middle of nowhere and to just have like that country lifestyle, homesteading. And I was just scrolling through and I was filtering based on price, of course, based on what I think I could sell this house that I own right now for. And up popped this ranch and it was $4.7 million. And my brain immediately, of course, was like, there's no way. Can't buy a $4.7 million ranch. But I looked at it anyways. And it's just this beautiful ranch. It's in a location that my wife and I have driven past a bunch of times and looked at the land around there and just said, this is the place. These rolling hills with these oak trees and whatnot. Just beautiful, beautiful area. This is the place that if we could be anywhere, if we could just afford to buy anything, we'd want to be here. And this ranch was right there. It's near like wine country. There's a new developing wine country around here. And I was looking at it and just not I wouldn't say sad, but kind of sad, like, yeah, I'll never have anything like that. And then this thought occurred to me, which was, why the fuck not? Who says that I can't have a $4.7 million ranch? Other people have $4.7 million ranches. And, yeah, maybe I'll never have a specifically a $4.7 million ranch, but something awakened in me again. And I realized I've been a little complacent lately. I started this handyman business 3 years ago. And when I started it, my goal was to replace my paycheck. I worked on planes. I installed avionics like communication and navigation systems on planes. And I also did like troubleshooting. It was mostly business jets. And it was the type of career that I mean, most people are proud to have. It's good money, it's good benefits, plenty of days off, like tons of sick days, vacation days, federal holidays, all of that. Yeah, get the ranch. Thank you, Donald. I will. And good evening, Jacob. So, anyways, I just realized I've gotten complacent. Back then, my goal, which seemed like an impossible goal, was I just wanted to replace my paycheck from Bombardier. When I quit that job to start this business, the idea was, I need more than 25 an hour, but I was making 25 an hour. And the idea was, okay, I need to make like 50 an hour. I need to be able to replace this paycheck fully and pay for health insurance and everything else. And so, I did. And then I saw what the possibilities were and I said, "Nah, fuck that. I want to make six figures." And now, I haven't sat down and like really totaled everything up. I could be just shy of six figures or I could be at like 1 to 50. I don't know my exact income at any given moment. But suffice to say I achieved that goal. And then what I've done now, I think, is I've gotten comfortable. It's gotten a little easier for me to sort of maintain a particular lifestyle. And I've been taking a lot of time in the evenings for myself. I've been spending more time with my family, which is not lazy or comfortable at all. That is something that I do in a very purposeful way because I want to make sure they don't miss out on that. But, anyways, I'm just sitting there and I'm looking at this ranch and I'm recognizing that I'm feeling sad that I can't buy this ranch. And something I absolutely abhor is people feeling sorry for themselves. I preach about this all the time. When people tell me about what they can't do, when somebody says, "Oh, I wish I could have gone to college. I was going to do this and I was going to do that and I just couldn't." And it's this pet peeve of mine because I always ask, "Well, did you try?" And the answer is always no. The answer from every person I've ever met who has not achieved their goals, the answer to the question, did you try to achieve your goals, is always no. What they did was they found a reason that they couldn't achieve their goals. And they decided that that was enough to go ahead and not try. So I try not to be that way. And I recognized I was being that way. I recognized I was feeling sorry for myself. Like it's a first world problem. but I was feeling sorry for myself that I couldn't own a ranch, that I can't have that life. So I just stopped and I said, why the fuck not? If that's what you want, then figure out how to make it happen. So I did a lot of brainstorming. And one of the first things I thought of when I was brainstorming is, okay, well, I was on the path of growing the business. Right now, I'm not trying to grow it so much because I kind of have to choose between doing this YouTube thing or growing the business. The business already to make six figures is more than a full-time job. Anybody who works 40 hours a week would would just be devastated at the amount of work that I have to put in just to keep this rolling at the level I've kept it rolling at. And so to do both YouTube and the business is already all of my time. There's no room for growing, for like trying to bring on six handymen and eight new property managers. That's not an option. So I thought some more and I was like, well, there's YouTube, but I mean, and yeah, YouTube can pay well. Obviously, like we all know the stories of the people who made it big on YouTube. But I thought, I've been doing YouTube like 2 years and I'm still considered a nano. I'm not even a micro influencer. I'm a nano influencer. Under 10,000 subscribers is a joke on YouTube. You're still nobody, other than I'm somebody maybe to y'all because I'm giving you the information you're looking for and because I really truly care about your success. So we're our own thing. It's not that we're unimportant, but in the YouTube world, under 10,000 subscribers is a nobody. But then I thought, well, where do you have to be at on YouTube to make the kind of money that you would need to make to move your family out to the country, not on a $4.7 million ranch, but on a $500,000 ranch, something with a nice big ranch house and a big barn where you could raise like 15 cattle instead of 500. And really all I need to do, it's a the way that this works is the more good content that I make, the more value I provide to the people who are watching this channel, the more people subscribe. The more people subscribe, the more they watch. The more they watch, the more ad revenue I get, the more sponsors can approach me. And I get approached by a lot of sponsors, but I have a policy that if it's not something that I want or that I'm already using, if it's not a product that I believe in, then I say no. So the end result of that has been, my two sponsors are Jobber and Next Insurance because I use Jobber and I like Jobber, and I use Next Insurance and I like Next Insurance. But everybody else who's approached me, I just haven't felt like they were the right people. But the solution to that is to grow. The solution to that is to put out content. And my big plans have been, if y'all been watching, you've heard me mention my master class that I'm going to do, and I've had this idea of, yeah, I'm gonna switch this bedroom with my twins' nursery because they're 2 plus a few months now, and they're big enough to leave the nursery and come get their own bedroom. And I'm gonna turn the bedroom into a studio. So I've had this big plan, right? Yeah, when I have the money, you know, I'm gonna put up like this stuff on the walls in there, and I'm gonna have a big workbench, and I'm gonna get 3 cameras, and I'm gonna buy these expensive mics, and I'm gonna put out this high quality master class, and I'm gonna put it out for free, and everybody's gonna love it. And then I'm gonna grow. It's always some future thing that I'm gonna be doing later on because there's no money or time. All of my time is taken up with this channel and the job itself and the time that I need to give to my family. All the time's taken up and all the money's taken up because I have an expensive life and I'm remodeling a house and I'm trying to do this business, like that's expensive. So what the conclusion I came to, and for those of y'all who are still here listening to me ramble, it blows my mind, but thanks. So here's the conclusion I came to is that two things that I've been doing wrong. Number one is I've gotten complacent. I've gotten good at making the money I'm making, and it's become easier for me. So I'm putting less effort. I used to really kill myself, and now I still work 7 days a week, except that I do take a day off here and there for my family. Like I just took them camping, but I'm still working every available minute of every single day. I never relax. That's the truth, other than like from 10 o'clock to midnight. That's like my time sitting on the front porch, but I'm not doing it the way I used to do. I've gotten complacent, I've gotten lazy, and I've just been sort of keeping things chugging along instead of pushing myself. And then the other thing is I've let the perfect become the enemy of the good because this master class, I don't need a new studio. I don't need any of that. The way this channel worked was when I started this channel, I said what I was doing and where I thought it was going. And some of y'all subscribed. It took 3, 4 months, I think, to get to like 167 subscribers. I literally forgot that I had a channel for like 3 months. Came back and I had 167 subscribers, and y'all were asking questions. And so I just started answering questions. I started making videos based on answers to questions that people were asking. The idea of the master class is that I start you from step one and I take you all the way through doing exactly what I'm doing. Um, and I don't have to have a studio for that. And I don't have to have a big production crew for that. And I don't have to have huge, expensive microphones and stuff for that. Let me make sure I'm not missing any important comments here. Donald said, I'm so close to stepping out on my own, just so apprehensive about it. Life is short, can't keep waiting. Yeah, it is. And if you want to talk about life is short, look at the title, look at the thumbnail of this video, Henry David Thoreau. I'll go into that later, but that quote set me on a different path in high school, and it deals with what you're saying. 10,000 followers, that's impressive alone, but it'll pop one day. Raise your prices. Yeah, I'll raise my prices, buddy. I promise. They always go up bit by bit. The Geeker said, just popped in. I know this is out of the blue, but what would you charge to install an attic access ladder? Never done one. I think it would probably take me a half a day. I would charge between 400 and 600 labor, I suppose. But back to the subject. So I've been letting the perfect be the enemy of the good. There are a bunch of y'all, like right here, Donald Witt. He's close to stepping out on his own and he hasn't done it. So I got two options right now with Donald and with there's always a dozen people at any given point in time. Right now, I could take you into my email and there's a dozen people who have just quit their job or have just turned in their 2 week notice or they did it a month or two ago and they're literally starting out right now. And they could use all the information and Donald Witt could use all this information and I'm sitting over here like a dumbass waiting for some extra $5,000 to buy cameras and microphones and build this studio when I don't need that. I don't have to be it doesn't have to be perfect. You need the information and I have the information and I just need to give it. So, and that's going to help my channel grow. And by helping my channel grow, I think once I surpass 10,000 subscribers, I'll be officially a micro influencer instead of nano. And I'll probably get some more offers from some sponsors. And also, by the way, in this industry, in the YouTube industry, you can go after sponsors. I can go after the people that I actually, the products that I do love. I can go to the people who make those products or services or pieces of software and get an affiliate link and just say, hey, I'm already, I'm not doing a YouTube thing, but I really like this mic. I bought this mic. I really like this mic. If I wanted to promote this mic, there's a good chance this company would give me an affiliate link. And when I just tell y'all that I like the mic, if you buy the mic, then I get some little like 2% or whatever, but it's not nothing and it adds up over time. So what I need to do is I need to get the master class going. I need to quit being a dumbass and thinking I'm going to wait until it's perfect. Meanwhile, Donald Witt is just sitting here without all the information he could use. So I'm going to start the master class and I'm going to start it soon. And I'm going to set a goal and y'all can if you look at my first video, I didn't know where I was going to be able to take this video and I kind of ended the video with this idea of like let's go on this adventure together. Like, why don't y'all watch me and see what happens? Like, see what I can or cannot pull off. So I'm setting a new goal today, guys. I don't want my family raised in this shithole of culture that I'm seeing out here. Everything is going to shit, like everything. And more than anything, I want to get my family out of it. I want to get them away from all of these other people and all of these other things. I don't want to like have them have no internet or never watch TV or not be exposed to the world. I just want to get them away from it. Like I want them to have this safe, peaceful place, like where the dirt touches their feet, and they can smell the air and they can be alive like in a real world. And they'll know that the rest of the world is out there and they'll be prepared to tackle that world when it's time for them to do it. But I want that and I want it bad. And there's no reason I can't have it. There's no reason I can't give it to them. So my goal today, it's not to become a millionaire and it's not to have a $4.7 million ranch, but my goal today is to stop fucking around. like I have been. I've got some steak right here, and that's part of it because you know what? I think it's healthy to eat real food like meats and vegetables. If it doesn't look like what it was when it was in nature anymore, if it's been processed where you can't recognize it for what it is, it's probably not good for you. And I used to eat better. And I've been eating a bunch of junk because I've been in a hurry and I've been stopping at Taco Bell and stuff. So I just went and stocked up on like $200 worth of meat today. And I'm going to get back to eating meat and eggs, drinking milk, coffee with just heavy cream, like no sugar, none of that junk. And my new goal, if y'all want to watch, is to just stop fucking around and to find out where I can go. I know where the business can go, and I know that if I want to get more handymen and I want to get more property managers, I know that's an option. But if I do that, I'm gonna have to drop the YouTube because I've done it. I've had 3 or 4 or 5 guys running with multiple property managers and a lot more money coming into the bank. And the end result was from sun up to sundown, I was just pissed. I was always angry. Everybody was dropping the ball. Nobody was communicating properly. Or maybe it's just that I'm not a good business manager. I'm not saying it couldn't have been my fault, but I was always busy, always pissed, no time for my family, barely any time to even go work, which I love working. I mean, that's the reason I wanted to be a handyman is I love tools and my hands and working. So this is my new goal. I'm just going to find out what I can do. It's not $1 million. It's not a $4.7 million ranch, but I want to get my family out of here and into the country where my boys can experience nature and the wilderness and just smell some air that's not polluted and not be surrounded by the sounds of cars and planes and everything else all the time. And that's what I'm going to do. Let's see. The Geeker said just popped in. I know this is oh yeah, we already went over that. Raphael said, glad I caught a live. Good evening. Good evening, sir. Just Jacob said, always enjoy your lives and your videos. Thank you, sir. This is not so much handyman related today, but I hope it's useful. And Donald Witt said snowball effect will happen with your channel. And I tell you what, Donald, I think it is because something I'm noticing, so there's been growth. I've watched it grow from day one. And the truth is I've made it grow. I'm somebody who researches things and tries to figure out systems. Like I really enjoy doing that. So, I did my research and I made a specific effort to figure out what makes a good YouTube video. What do you guys actually want and need from me? I do these lives a lot of times because y'all sort of guide me in directions where I can tell the guys who are active, who are jumping on a live because they really are looking for something. Y'all help guide me. But what I've seen is that by researching, like, knowledge is power. By researching this industry and by figuring it out, I've been able to take steps that have grown me, and I've watched my rate. And there was a time, I'd say 4 months ago, 5 months ago, I was growing by about 315 new subscribers per month. Well, now not only have I grown, but the rate of growth has increased to where now I'm growing by about 1,000 subscribers a month. So I'll be at 10,000 like within the next probably 2 weeks or something. I'll hit 10,000. But what's cool is after I hit 10,000 or 12,000 or 13,000, that rate is then going to be 1,500 or 2,000 new per month. And I love doing this. For y'all that have followed me, I love doing this. I didn't know how much I would love doing it, and I really do. And I want to make the master class, and then I want to get to my big project in the end is all the how-to videos because y'all like and share and comment on like on the job videos more than you do the how to run a business videos. And the purpose of the channel was how to run the business because I think anybody can learn how to do the work. Anybody can get on YouTube like y'all have right now, and you can just look up how to swap a toilet, and you could swap, like, you don't need me to tell you that. But you don't have people telling you on YouTube how to run the business. So it's really funny. It's almost annoying to me because I want to get all the business information out, but that's the point. I'm going to do this master class now. I've just about gotten all the information out that I think somebody needs. So I'm just going to start knocking out this master class right here in this seat. Let me show y'all, like, this is not a studio. There's where the pickets end. I threw this together quickly because I had a channel to run and I had work to do and I had invoices to send. So I'm going to do the master class and then I'm going to get started on those how-to videos. And the cool thing about the snowball effect is the faster I get more income. So for the how-to videos, my goal is to use that room. I do need It doesn't have to be a studio, but I'm going to need a space and I'm going to need money for materials because I need to buy, like, if I want to show you how to change a cabinet bottom, I can do it on the job and I will do it on the job. In fact, I have a video where I did exactly that on the job, but I want to do high quality ones. So the sooner I get things rolling and this channel growing, the sooner the money comes in for me to invest into even just the materials and the cameras and the mics. But again, like I've been saying, I'm not gonna not do those videos for lack of not having a perfect setup. I'm just going to do them. But the sooner I grow things, the sooner more income from the channel comes in, the sooner I can do more and better videos for all the how to stuff. And I can start showing y'all like a lot of my tricks and tips. Like today was a great day. Today I installed an interior door and I did it very differently from what I've ever done it before. I had a genius, like, you know, idea pop into my brain, and this interior door I installed suddenly required half the tools and half the time. So I just increased my profits on interior doors. And then I had some work to do on the back porch, replacing some trim that a dog chewed away. And in my head, I had imagined like all of this cutting and sawing and sanding, but I've gotten better at this to where I knocked it out quick. So today was like a $400 day, but I left the house at 9:30 and I was done with the job at 1 p.m. Like I was on my way home at 1 p.m. and I didn't leave the house till 9:30 and I made 400 bucks and I'm motivated now. So what I did is instead of coming home and fucking around and being lazy and convincing myself that I should sit down and start like in this book, which is one of my notebooks for this channel, for the plans and for the master class, instead of coming home and like making notes and doing research, I came home and I got on here to start making content because in the end that's what I need to be doing. So that's what I did. But yeah, I think what's cool is it does snowball and I think it is going to take off. And I think I'm going to be able to put me and my family in a very good position because my belief is that if I actually, just like with this business, I figured out a niche. I found that there was a valuable resource property managers wanted, which was a handyman who behaved like a business and not like a handyman. A resource to where they send work orders and they receive invoices and you cut out all the bullshit in the middle. And I figured out how to give them that. I figured out where I could provide value, and in return, I received income. YouTube is no different. I can provide value, and the better job I do of providing y'all with value, I'm never going to have you pay me. That's I've said it a million times, no paywalls on this channel. If there's ever a paywall, it might be like a paywall for personal projects of mine or for like maybe going and looking at a ranch I want to buy or something. But for shit that has to do with your handyman business, no paywalls. But the faster I grow this, the faster I get other people to pay for the value that I'm providing you. And that's the goal. And if that makes me a sellout, it makes me a sellout. I don't think it does. I think I'm honest and I'm telling you, hey, I'm a grown man with a family and I want to provide for them. And if providing you with even more and even better value is how I get my family into a better place, that's what I'm going to do. And I think most of y'all can appreciate that. Cell said, hit the like, spread the info. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Donald Witt said, amen, brother. Raphael Newman said, I agree with your lifestyle 100%. Thank you. Donald Witt said black. I probably would have known what you meant if I would have watched that pop up when you said it. I'm sorry. Just Jacob said, I enjoy listening to you talk. Thank you, sir. I like teaching. I really do. And I like talking. And I don't just like talking to hear myself talk. I like my favorite thing, guys. In fact, I should invite y'all on a camping trip. Like I know most of y'all aren't in Arizona, but I should plan one 6 months in advance and give y'all a time and date, like a place and everything. Because my favorite thing in the world, me and my buddy Chris do this all the time. We've actually gotten to go camping a few times this year, and he's been loyal to me while I've been growing this business. Because basically, I used to see him like twice a week. I'd go to his house like on a Wednesday evening and hang out for a couple hours. I'd go on a Saturday night and hang out till like 1 a.m. We'd go camping, we'd go shooting. And when I started this business, there was no time for any of that. Like he just went without me for 2 years, but he was always there cheering me on. And finally I've gotten to a point, and that's kind of what I mean by getting lazy and complacent. I finally got to a point where we've been able to go camping again a few times this year. But there's nothing I enjoy more than just exchanging ideas. I wish y'all could like talk. I wish we could have some audio, which is why I might end up doing Twitter Spaces because I can have audio back and forth. I think even TikTok has a thing where you can split the screen and I could bring y'all on. But again, There's no time in the day. I have to do the research. But where was I? Oh, the talking. My favorite thing is just exchanging ideas like philosophy. I'll listen. I love Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, all of these guys where they just sit down and they just discuss and they disagree plenty. It's okay to disagree, but they just discuss and I really love doing that. T Chili said, "How did you get your handyman experience before you started that first job?" Well, man, so I grew up in West Texas, in San Angelo, Texas. I was born and raised in San Angelo, Texas. San Angelo is like the most beautiful, quintessential small Texas town that you've ever seen in your life. I'm the luckiest guy in the world to have grown up there. I think I got to grow up in both a time and a place that was the right time and place. There was enough suffering and hardship for me to gain value from seeing people overcome that, but there wasn't so much of it that it was a slum. You know what I mean? But my mom married my stepdad when I was like 8, and his entire side of the family, all of his family, every grown adult male on that side of the family worked with tools and his body daily. Most of them, most of the time, not for somebody else. They were plumbers. They worked. My stepdad himself was a custom cabinet maker, so I grew up. I could build all the custom cabinets for your kitchen. If you gave me a shop with all the tooling and all the bits and all the blades and everything, if I had all the equipment and materials, building a set of kitchen cabinets like from hardwood and plywood, like custom from scratch, that's up my alley. That's my dream. I can't make the money I need to make doing that, which is why I'm not pursuing it. But maybe someday, if I'm successful enough. But every grown man worked with his hands for a living, and they worked hard and they worked 7 days a week. And if you were a young boy in that family, which I was, guess what? That means you work all the time and you don't get paid for it. I don't think I ever got paid for any of that till I was about 14, was about the age where they started saying, "Hey, like bringing me into the fold, letting me sort of experience being one of the men." I'd get to stand in the circle with them and maybe even interject my opinion here and there without getting shooed away. Uh, but I just grew up doing all of that. I grew up building custom cabinets in the shop. Like I don't have my coffee cup in here right now. It's about the only time, but I drink coffee 24/7. And that was because in the fourth grade, I wanted to drink coffee. And my stepdad said no because I was in the fourth grade. And then I came up with this genius idea of I was in his cabinet shop sanding cabinets, sometimes until like 9 a.m., on school nights. And I came up with this genius idea of if I could work like a man, I should be able to drink coffee like a man. So I told him that. I said, I want to drink coffee because I think if I work like a man, I should be able to drink coffee like a man. And he said, okay, I tell you what, if you keep the coffee pot full all the time, because my household was one where just it never turned off. The coffee pot was always on, and you just added more coffee to the top, add more water, keep it going. Every now and then, empty the filter out, put a new filter in, put more coffee, and then you just keep adding coffee and adding water. So the deal was if I let the coffee pot run out, no coffee. But as long as I never let that coffee pot run out, I could drink all the coffee I wanted. And guess who never ever let that coffee run out? I was hooked. But the point is, I was from a hardworking family where, as a young man, I was expected to work and I was expected to work hard and for free, nonstop, not as like slave labor. People view child labor a certain way. I don't view it that way. I know what I am not allowed to do because of the law these days, and I mind the law, but it was good for me to be forced to learn how to do all those things. It didn't matter if I wanted to, it didn't matter if I enjoyed it. The men in my family made sure that by the time I graduated high school, I was a capable man. And that's how I learned how to do all the handyman stuff. I also just enjoy it. Donald Witt said, "Glad I caught the live stream, but I got to get. I'll watch the rest when I get a chance. Keep up the good work." Thank you, sir. Yeah, we only got 8 people in here. I basically just jumped on because I just wanted to sort of not make an announcement, but it helps me after the epiphany last night that I have been slacking and I've been getting complacent. It helps me to just come on here and tell all of y'all, like, hey, I've done it. Like I did that. I haven't been pushing. Have I been working hard? Yes, but I've always worked hard. I haven't been pushing myself and I'm about to, and we're going to find out how far I can get with this. But my goal, like success like top of the heap, should I ever get there, is going to be something like that $4.7 million ranch that was 485 acres plus 20,000 national forest acres that are leased on a 10-year basis and which you can release every 10 years. That's not yours, but you run your cows on it and you can do improvements to it and stuff. That's that's success for me. But really success for me is just getting my family, if I raise these boys to be not just good men but good fathers, I think that's my job in life, is to raise them to be good fathers. If I succeed in that, that's success. But in the more near term, if I can get my family out of here, we're in the country, we're not in the city, but we're still in a neighborhood. I want to get them to the middle of nowhere. Like, I want to hunt on my property. I want my boys to go out the back door and be able to run through the woods and not be worried about all of the junk you have to worry about when you live around a bunch of other people. T. Chili said, "Thank you, sir. I'm 19 getting into carpentry, but I really appreciate this channel. Hopefully, soon I can start something of my own." Yeah, and here's the thing, T. Chili. I like your name. Um, you absolutely can. And this is the who don't. People who do understand that there's nothing in this world so hard that if they put the effort in, they can't succeed at it. Like, I don't know if you've ever changed a toilet, but I guarantee you, if you've never changed a toilet, you've never looked at a toilet, you've never even considered how a toilet operates. If you decided that you wanted to be able to change a toilet so you could get, I get paid 350 bucks. That's my toilet swap fee. And the reason is because there's a maintenance limit on most of my work orders from most of my property managers, where if it's under 350, I don't need to, they don't need to get approval from the homeowner. I need approval from them, but they don't need it from the homeowner. Toilet's 100 bucks, so the other $250 goes to my pocket for swapping the toilet. Now, the first one you do is like an all-day project if you've never done it and you're not familiar with it at all. But after you've done about a dozen of them, they're all the same, man. And let me tell you something, T Chili, you can change a toilet. You can get a property manager to send you a job to change a toilet, and you can get on YouTube and you can just say, you know what? All the guys out there changing toilets, they're not any smarter than me. They're not any stronger than me. They're not any better than me in any way, shape, or form. If they can change a toilet, I can change a toilet. Next step is find out how to change a toilet. Go to Google, go to YouTube, go to Home Depot and buy your toilet, buy the tools that you saw the guys use on YouTube, go to the house and just step by step get that old toilet out, get the new toilet in, and then the next job you get is going to be screens and you're going to go, "Well, I don't know how to build a new screen to go over a window for a house." Well, guess what? Get on YouTube, look it up, and understand that the only difference between you and the guys who were doing it is the guys who were doing it decided to do it. They made up their mind and they went after it. You're never going to find anybody who didn't achieve their dreams who put everything they had into achieving their dreams. And that's a generality. I'm sure there's exceptions. But the point is, every time somebody tells you about what they couldn't do and what they couldn't achieve, if you dig deeper, you find out the reason they couldn't do it and couldn't achieve it is because they didn't try to. So if it's what you want to do, man, do it. Just do it. Just take the first steps. And that's what my master class is going to be for. I'm not waiting for a stupid studio to do it. I'm not waiting for microphones and cameras. I'm going to do it right here at this desk. I've made up my mind. The master class is going to take you step by, you can literally start at episode 1, watch it, do what I say. Start at episode 2, watch it, do what I say. And by the time you get to step 28, you're going to be a handyman running the business, because if you're a man who can do all the things other men can do, if you're capable of learning, then you can figure this shit out on your own and you can make it. Chris Randall said, "I've been doing my handyman business on the nights and weekends, 6/2018." I don't know what that means. Oh, maybe since 6/20 of 18, still haven't decided to leave the full-time job because of family benefits. What are your thoughts? I'll tell you what, I it's hard, but it's worth it as far as benefits, because that's the thing you're worried about, and that was the thing I was worried about. I pay, like, through, it's not Obamacare, but the healthcare marketplace, the federal marketplace where you go to purchase health insurance on the open market if you're self-employed. I want to say I'm paying 1,300 a month, and I was paying 1,800 a month before. But to have a, and this is a good plan, mind you. I've always had great health insurance with Bombardier. They're a good company out of Canada that takes care of their people health insurance wise. To match that health insurance, I was paying like 16 to 1800 in there somewhere. Now I'm down to 1300, but it is expensive. But here's the thing, man, when you're working for somebody else, and yes, you're getting benefits and stuff, but in the end, no matter how you look at it, whatever value you're providing, whatever 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 gets accomplished in this world based on your labor, if you're working for somebody else, they are receiving the benefit of your labor. You're receiving a chunk of it and they're taking the rest. If you work for yourself, you receive all of it. And then the only question is, how much can you really produce? Like, what can you accomplish on your own? And I'm telling you that if you do a good job, if you're a professional, and if you want to be a handyman, that if you simply figure out how property management works and what those people need and what it is that they can't find, and you provide that to them. My property managers don't like my prices. They really don't. I get a little pushback every now and then, and I should. If I don't, it means I'm not keeping my prices near the top of that window. But I get a little pushback. They don't want to pay me more than any other handyman that works for them charges, but they do because they need me, because they have a business to run. They have a lot of things wrong and they need reliable people, and it's very hard to find that these days. So if you just figure out how to give them that, if you specialize in taking care of their needs, you can charge more than you can charge for a lot of other things in a lot of other places. Chris Randall said, "Forgive my voice to text speech." Yeah, I figured that's what it was. I do half the if I communicate with property managers and clients, I make sure, I proofread everything. But back and forth between friends and family, I'm always doing speech to text, and it's always it almost makes me angry because I feel like what I said was clear, and I'm just looking at what Google decided I meant, and I'm just like, nobody puts those words together that way. Why if you had to choose between this word or a similar word that sounds like it, why would you think that I said something nobody ever says, and instead I must have said something. It doesn't make any sense. Hey, Silver Nail, what's going on? I do have to tell you, sir, I'm going to be getting off of here in just a minute. I got to pick my boy up from school by 5, and it's 3:58, and it's a 30-minute drive, and I don't want to show up right at 5, so I'm probably going to log off here pretty quick. Um, you should go back and watch the earlier part, but long story short is I got a little surge of testosterone, realized I've been being lazy, realized I've been complacent, I've been getting comfortable in the routine that I've built for myself with the income, and I'm done with that. So now it's time to start kicking ass again and take on some new challenges. So I'm about to start the master class for this channel, and I'm about to start putting those hours back in, like in a hard way, the way that I used to, and getting back on the ball, because I don't think there's any limit to how far I can make it in life. That's up to me. Like, the only reason I don't own a $4.7 million ranch is because I made all the right decisions in my life to bring me to a place where I can't buy a $4.7 million ranch. And if that's what I want, then that's what I'll get, and I'll make it happen. And I know how dumb that sounds to some of y'all, but there's nothing that you can't do. I'll do one last thing before I get off here, since there's no questions. So if you look at the thumbnail of this video, it says, "And not when I came to die, discover that I had not yet lived." I may have talked about this in one other video. That's Henry David Thoreau from the book Walden. And by the way, Walden is going to be the name of my ranch. Like, my wife and I have always known that Walden, if we ever get a ranch or a farm or a homestead someday, the name of it's going to be Walden. But in that book, Walden, one of the things Henry David Thoreau's, he says, "I came to the woods to live deliberately and to front only the essential facts of life and see if I could not learn what I had to teach." Um, and he goes on, it's like a paragraph. And at the end of the paragraph, though, he ends it by saying, "And not when I came to die, discover that I had not yet lived." And I read that in my junior year of high school, and it hit me in a way that nothing else had ever hit me, because it was the first time in my life I fully, truly understood. Like, I had this epiphany of, oh my God, if I'm lucky enough to know when my time is done, if I'm lucky enough to be 95 years old with pancreatic cancer, knowing that I have a month left to live, if I'm lucky enough to know the end is coming, the thought of looking back on my life and realizing that I didn't live it like that I wasted it, that thought just like twisted everything into knots and sent it up my throat. And I realized, holy shit, it's only happening once. Like, I'm not religious. I was religious back then. I've been religious since. I'm not at the moment. Haven't been for a very long time. I don't hate God either. I'm just, you don't believe what you don't believe. And I don't carry a particular belief. But I feel like what that taught me was, on the off chance, at least, that you do only get to do this once and that when you're done, you don't exist anymore. Like, you get one special brief period on this earth. And when you're done, like, where do you think you go when you're done? Well, in my opinion, wherever I was before I was born, just poof, this is it, and this is beautiful, and I'm not going to let it pass me by without taking full advantage of it. I want to get to the end and look back, and I want to have a lot of regrets, but I don't want them to be about things that I was too afraid to do or that I didn't try to do. I want my regrets to be about things that I did, mistakes I made, that hopefully I went back and fixed and made up for. But that quote on the thumbnail of this is what this is all about. It's me realizing, like, I'm 42. I probably got another 40 years left, which is really cool. That's a lot of time, but it's not so much time that I can afford to just let 5 years pass, just sort of making six figures being a handyman and not really doing anything more. All right, so simplify, brother. All right. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thank you all for joining me. Look for my masterclass starting really soon. I'm going to be putting everything I have into it. Love you guys. I hope you all are out there killing it. Email me, bulletproofhandymanbusiness at gmail.com anytime you want. Comment on, I respond to all the comments. I'm here for y'all literally 24/7. Maybe someday I'll be too big to answer every single thing from every single person every single time. When did you start? T Chili had a quick question. When did you start? September 3 years ago. This month is 3 years since I started this business. I started this trying to get $25 an hour and figured the rest out from there. I stumbled through, and this channel is here so that you can learn all of the mistakes I made, all the epiphanies I had, the different forks that I took, the directions I took, and what I've narrowed down to be my niche. And by the way, guys, I mean, you could just be a drywall guy, you could be an electrician, you could be a roofer, you could just be a contractor who never picks up a tool. There's so many things you could be. You could have a dog grooming business, you could have a knife sharpening business. It's all the same. The point is, find your niche, figure out what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, think it through really carefully. And I'm here to share my niche. I'm here to share. I feel like I've put together a template that others can follow and put themselves in a place where they can provide families better than you ever could working for somebody else. And that's what I'm here to do, is to just give my template to you and hope that you can succeed. But email me, comment, however you get in touch with me, I will answer every single person I can, every question I can, because I want y'all to succeed. I don't want to say the way I've succeeded, because I haven't succeeded yet. It's very rocky. It's very, I don't have money building up in the bank, guys. It's leaving as fast as it's coming in. But love you guys, and I will see y'all on the next one.